A 10-pound Lynx Point Siamese sat at the same window every morning at exactly 6:42 a.m. For 87 days, Maya couldn't figure out why. She tried everything: new food, toys, a heated bed. Nothing helped. And then on a Saturday morning when Maya got out of bed early, she finally walked over to the window, looked out, and saw the one thing she had never thought to look for. Someone was waiting back. Maya Delgado was 24 years old, a first-year middle school teacher who had moved into a one-bedroom apartment in Milwaukee in August. The apartment had east-facing windows and a radiator that clicked. On Saturday mornings, Maya drank coffee on the fire escape in her pajamas and watched the streets slowly wake up. She had told herself she didn't want a pet. Teaching was exhausting, her hours were long, but by the end of September, the apartment's silence had started feeling less like peace and more like pressure. On the first Saturday of October, on her way home from the coffee shop, Maya walked past a pop-up adoption event being run by a foster-based rescue called Second Spring Cats. There was no shelter building, just a handful of volunteers, a few carriers, and a woman named Eleanor with kind eyes and a clipboard. Maya wasn't planning to adopt, she had just wanted to look. The first cat she saw was a 10-pound gray-brown Lynx Point Siamese with pale blue eyes that looked exactly like winter lake water. "That's Juniper," Eleanor said. "She came to us from a bad situation in a rural county. Someone left 2 kittens in a plastic tote outside a 24-hour gas station in Douglasville last April. 2 siblings, 7 weeks old, still nursing-sized. Both girls. Well, we thought both girls," Eleanor laughed a little. "One turned out to be a boy. But they were raised together, found together, same litter." "Where's the brother?" asked Maya. "Adopted 2 months ago by a widower who lives about 8 miles from here. We try to keep bonded pairs together, but he could only take one, and the family that was going to take Juniper fell through at the last minute, so they were separated." Juniper was sitting in the pop-up pen with her nose pressed against the wire, watching Maya. Not crying, not meowing, just watching. Maya looked at Juniper, Juniper looked at Maya. Something about the way she tilted her head, the way she had already decided something before Maya had, made Maya sit down on the cold concrete. "I'll take her," she said. Eleanor smiled. "I had a feeling." The first week at the apartment, Juniper explored slowly and quietly. She did not meow. She barely made any sound at all. She slept on the end of Maya's bed. She ate when Maya ate. She watched Maya correct papers at the kitchen table with the focus of someone auditing a tax return. Then, on the first Monday of November, at exactly 6:42 a.m., Maya was woken up by a sound she had never heard from Juniper before. Not a meow, not a purr, a low, long, mournful cry. The kind of sound a cat makes when something is missing, and the cat knows it, and the cat cannot fix it. Maya got up. Juniper was sitting in the living room window staring out at the street, still crying. When Maya came in, Juniper didn't stop. She just kept staring out. Low, long, repetitive. It lasted exactly 11 minutes. Then, at 6:53 a.m., Juniper stopped, walked away from the window, and climbed up onto the couch to sleep like nothing had happened. Maya thought it was a one-off. It wasn't. Every morning for the next 87 days, Juniper sat at the same window at exactly 6:42 a.m. and cried for exactly 11 minutes. Every morning. Weekends, snow days, sick days, 6:42 sharp. Maya tried everything: vet visit, healthy, new food, a heated bed, cat TV, interactive toys, a feel-away diffuser. Nothing helped. I see you're still watching and still haven't subscribed. Stories like Juniper's deserve to be seen. Hit that subscribe button. You're gonna want to see what happens at 6:42 a.m. On the 87th morning, a Saturday in late January, Maya got up at 6:20 a.m. for the first time. She didn't know why. Maybe some part of her brain had finally decided to actually watch. She made coffee, sat on the windowsill with a blanket, and waited. At 6:42 a.m. exactly, Juniper came into the living room and sat on the ledge next to Maya. And then she started to cry, the same long, low, mournful sound she had made every morning for 87 days. For the first time, Maya didn't try to stop her. She just looked out the window with her. And that's when she saw it. In the second-floor window across the street, a gray-brown cat with pale blue eyes was sitting, staring at Juniper, crying back. The same cry, the same posture, the 11-minute rhythm. Maya froze with her coffee halfway to her mouth. Both cats kept crying. At 6:53 a.m., they both stopped at the same second. Juniper walked away from the window, so did the other cat. Maya sat on the ledge and didn't move for a long time. That afternoon, Maya wrote a short note on a piece of notebook paper. "Hello, I live in 3B across the street. I think my cat may know your cat. Does your cat cry every morning at 6:42 a.m.? Maya, apt 3B." She tucked it into the mailbox for apartment 2B at 814 Marlowe Street. She thought that was probably a weird thing to do. She was wrong. The next evening, Maya's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Yes, every morning for 3 months. My wife would have loved this. It's Henry, apt 2B. Would your cat like to come over on Saturday?" Maya called Second Spring Cats on Monday. Eleanor put her on hold for 4 minutes. When she came back, her voice was quiet. Their names were Juniper and Ashwood. Juniper went to you, Ashwood went to a retired teacher named Henry Kovacs. They were found in the same tote, 7 weeks old. They've been apart for 8 months. Maya sat down on her kitchen floor with the phone pressed to her ear and started to cry. On Saturday at 2 p.m., Maya walked across Marlowe Street carrying a carrier. Henry Kovacs met her at the door. He was 68, tall, with white hair. His wife had died 2 years ago. He lived alone with a cat he called Ash. "Come in," he said. "He's in the living room." Maya set the carrier down and opened the door. Juniper walked slowly out, looked around the room, and then she saw him. Ashwood was sitting on the arm of the couch, the same gray-brown body, the same pale blue eyes. Bigger now, heavier, but unmistakable. Juniper stopped. Ashwood stood up. They walked toward each other at the same slow pace, like two people meeting in a train station after a war. They met in the middle of Henry's living room rug. Juniper pressed her face against Ashwood's face. Ashwood pressed his face back. Neither of them made a sound. They stood there for 40 seconds, just breathing, together. Then Ashwood groomed Juniper's ear. Juniper leaned into him. Maya and Henry stood in the doorway and did not speak. They didn't need to. Some things are not made to be said out loud. If that just made you feel something, some stories really are worth sharing. Today, Juniper and Ashwood spend every Saturday afternoon together. Henry and Maya have become close friends, two people who didn't know they were lonely until their cats brought them together. Juniper still cries at the window some mornings at 6:42 a.m., but now the sound is softer, more like a hello. Ashwood always answers back from across the street. Sometimes a cat cries for 87 days because she's trying to tell you something you haven't heard yet. Should rescues ever separate bonded siblings, even if it means one of them waits? Tell me in the comments.